Listen to this. Yeah, they've made it sound like a V8. Guys, this is the new Mercedes-AMG GT 4-door coupe, the first high-performance electric car to come out of there, Affalterbach. And before you ask, no, this is not a Mercedes with some performance tinsel. This is a bona fide, verifiable EV built by AMG. Wrap your head around that.
The AMG GT 4-door is the final form of the AMG GT XX concept we first saw in late 2025. Its purpose was to show us what was possible were AMG to build an electric car, and the GT 4-door is a production version that's ready for the road.
I can almost hear the comments already, is it a real AMG? And we can discuss the philosophical implications of a battery-powered AMG in just a moment, but for the most part, I think it is. Let me give you some numbers which might justify that statement. Okay, this thing uses 3 electric motors, which we'll talk about in more detail soon, but total power is 1,169 PS. That is enormous. That's peak power, of course, which you can use for up to 63 seconds before it needs to cool again, but continuous power is a whopping 721 horsepower, which means this thing has power for days. It's also got torque for days, 2,000 Newton meters to be precise. That's lorry territory, which means acceleration it's going to be painful. 0 to 62 in 2.1 seconds. More importantly though, 0 to 124 miles an hour in 6.4. This is a hypercar. We'll talk about the looks in just a moment, especially this angle, because wow. But before we do that,
if you want your own supercar, or just a supercar, you should check out the Autotrader app. We've got around 500,000 cars on sale, and you can now search using our new categories feature, which makes finding your next car easier than ever. Download it today.
Let's refresh our memories and remind ourselves how big a job this thing has on its hands.
This car is the latest evolution of the AMG GT 4-door, a vehicle we loved. It was a brute, defined in its ultimate form by a thumping, petrol-swelling V8 that felt like it constantly wanted to headbutt the horizon. It felt premium, but raw, a sledgehammer with a velvet handle, which represented everything we think an AMG should be.
All of that begs the question, what should an AMG actually be? Well, in my opinion, it's got to be fast. We know this is going to be fast. It's also got to be fun. We can reserve judgment about that when we drive the car. It's also got to be noisy, and surely an electric AMG it's not going to be noisy, is it?
It will. A silent AMG is a tough sell. So they've developed AMG Force S Plus, a real-time mixing system that uses over 1,600 sound files to create a V8 soundtrack based on the acoustics of the AMG GTR. It will even simulate gear changes with haptic feedback to give you that physical jolt you get from a real transmission.
Listen to this. Yeah, they've made it sound like a V8. That sound is coming from a whole variety of speakers scattered all around the car, on the outside and on the inside. There's a guy who works for AMG who told me that I'm not allowed to rev the car because they want to, save it for the big event of when we get to drive the thing, because it will feel more realistic when you're actually driving it. But he's not here in the studio at the moment, so I'm gonna rev it. It actually sounds all right. It's quite good. I'm surprised at that.
Now, let's talk engines. The AMG GT 4-door is powered not by a V8, of course. Under the proverbial bonnet is a set of 3 axial flux motors, 1 at the front and 2 at the rear. In most motors, the magnetic force goes around in a circle. In an axial flux motor, it goes straight across, from one flat side to another, like 2 hands pushing against each other. This setup makes the motors very compact, 66% smaller, 33% lighter, while delivering way more continuous power and torque than a standard motor. And then there's the battery. AMG has used a high-performance 800-volt pack where every one of its 2,660 cylindrical cells is liquid-cooled, keeping them at the perfect temperature, even when you're absolutely flooring it. Range, 430 miles. Charging, 600 kilowatts. Quick enough to replenish 285 miles of range back into the battery in just 10 minutes. Although obviously not if you're driving at the 186 mile an hour top speed. As for the design, it's a stunner, a big improvement on the GT XX concept. Where that car was a bit Maserati-esque, the production version is pure AMG, with a menacing front end dominated by a concave Panamericana grille and vertical lights. Speaking of which, the main headlights feature the Mercedes star linked by a separate light bar.
Here's a cool little feature. Because the GT 4-door is electric, you don't have an engine, which means you can have space for a front trunk. And that is a pretty decent amount of storage, actually, enough for your charge cables and so forth. And I want to draw your attention to something else. So up here, we have the coordinates for Affalterbach, but we also have this Born in Affalterbach badge. Now, normally AMG have this one man, one engine philosophy, and that's the badge they put on the engine because that's the geezer that worked on the engine, but there's no engine here. So what's that doing here? Well, actually, it has a QR code at the bottom right, which you can scan, and that links you to a video message from a member of the engineering team, giving you a message telling you what part of the car they helped develop, and that is a pretty cool personal touch. I like that.
At the side, the car rides on wheels varying between 19 and 21 inches, with the biggest set being aero-optimized. Air suspension is standard, and it includes rear-wheel steering. The car is 4 centimeters lower than the old V8.
The back's probably my favorite angle on this car. This is gonna look so mean driving down the road, isn't it? Slightly different to the concept. We do have this active aero here, which flips up and down. That's cool. We've got this black panel in the center, which houses the 6 individual circles with 3 pointed stars in them. They look a bit like plugs, don't they? But that is pretty cool. We don't have the screen that was in the concept on which you could show messages like hello or 2 middle fingers up or whatever. That's gone, which is probably a sensible thing. But we do have 2 options for a diffuser. This is the passive version of the diffuser, and with this option, the car gets its downforce from a combination of that rear wing and active underbody components, which actually move to create downforce. But there's a second option for a diffuser, which we'll talk about now.
That second option takes the form of an active aerokinetics rear diffuser, which can be seen on this Opalite white model in the efficiency package. Here, the diffuser extends or retracts by several centimeters, with the fully extended configuration working with the rear wing to provide downforce without excessive drag. Those who want more downforce, albeit with an efficiency penalty, can opt for the Performance Pack on the Sunnyline Magno car. This features a fixed rear diffuser and moving underbody flaps. Both versions work in conjunction with the air management flaps behind the front air intake and behind the brake cooling intakes.
The cabin of the AMG GT 4-door is impressive and disappointing, I would say, in equal measure. And the reason for my disappointment is because it's not quite as cool as what you got in the concept car. The GT XX had this amazing cabin with a dashboard that looked like it had a structural cross member across the dash. It had these fake high voltage cables littered around the interior of the car, and that was such a cool touch. And what we get here on the production version is just screens. I almost feel like their designers probably came to them with these amazing ideas and they just went, no, we just got to dump screens everywhere. So that's what you get. You get this driver display in the middle, it's fine. You get this infotainment screen, it's fine. It's angled towards you, so it feels like you're in a cockpit. That's cool, I suppose. And then you've got a separate screen for the passenger as well, which can do pretty much everything the main screen does. So that's that. We do have a nice big center console. I'm not sure it needs to be this big, but again, it kind of reminds you of old school AMG design where you had a massive chunky transmission tunnel. With that, you get some creature comforts, a couple of cup holders, 2 wireless phone chargers, and this lovely carbon effect in the middle. The steering wheel, meanwhile, is a mixture of Alcantara and carbon. That's very cool. Plus you've got the satellite buttons as you do on all AMGs these days. The left one lets you program shortcuts to various functions, and the right one lets you select your drive mode across Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, which turns on the fake noise, and Race. Now, speaking of controls for how the car drives, in the center is a new concept called AMG Race Engineer. And what it does is it allows you to change the character of the car by adjusting these 3 separate buttons. The one at the top adjusts your throttle response across 9 different levels. The one in the middle and the one at the bottom work only when the ESC is switched off. Agility lets you shift torque from front to rear, basically letting you adjust the amount of understeer or oversteer that the car has. And speaking of oversteer, there's also a traction button, which lets you have 9 different levels of traction control. So yeah, this car will drift like nobody's business. Right, I'm in the back of the AMG GT 4-door, and shock of all shocks, there's space. Honestly, look at that. That is headroom. That's not bad, despite the fact that the car is quite low. That is more than acceptable. There's space for two fully grown people back here. The middle seat is not a seat, but look at that, that's good. It's actually quite supportive as well. So if ever your driver was to take a wrong turn and end up on a racetrack, the people in the back wouldn't get thrown around too much. That's quite nice. Got a little headrest, that's good. Loads of leg room as well. I say loads, there's that much leg room. I'm 5'11" and I fit perfectly well back here, and my feet actually have a place to go. There are these little foot garages, which means that you've got room. That's probably the most shocking thing about this car. I was expecting it to be useless back here. One thing I'm not sure about is the fact it's got a transmission tunnel. Obviously it hasn't got a transmission. Well, not in the traditional sense anyway, but what is that lump about? It probably houses something quite important, but yeah, I would have liked a bit more space back here so it feels a bit less claustrophobic in the center. But I've got speakers in the ceiling. There's also an optional sunroof, by the way, which has the Affalterbach logo, which illuminates in a matching color to the rest of the ambient light system. But yeah, look at this, it's spacious. I'm getting one.
It also has a surprisingly spacious boot. This is 415 litres according to the VDA measurement standard. That's around 41 litres smaller than the one you got in the petrol-powered GT 4-door, but then the electric model also has that 41 litre frunk, so overall storage is identical.
So that's the AMG GT 4-door. Availability, guess what? This car is coming very soon. It's going to be coming to a retailer near you, to a street near you, to a racetrack near you in the second half of 2026, coming to a YouTube channel near you in 2026. And I'm super excited about this car. I think it's got all the hallmarks of a classic AMG, even though it's AMG's first ever attempt at a fully electric car. It's going to have the performance, it's going to have the numbers, it's got the looks. I just can't wait to see how it drives. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe if you haven't already, and of course, stick around for another video coming very soon.